let's rank the Beatles singles. Ahoy hoy everybody, and welcome to another ranking video. And today I'm ranking the Beatles singles, specifically those singles in this collection. So there are 23 singles in this collection, and I will be ranking them as complete singles. So I will be taking the B-sides or double A-sides into account when ranking them. So I won't just be ranking the A-sides, it'll be the singles as a whole. I think you understand what I mean. I hope you do anyway. This is purely my personal taste, opinion. I love all these songs, just to different degrees. Bottom was quite easy to work out. Top was quite easy to work out. Middle, we can work it out. Boom. Okay, so my least favourite single in this collection is From Me to You, backed with Thank You Girl. From Me to You was a good start for the Beatles, but it's not a great song. It's a good song, it's an enjoyable song, but it's not a great song. Thank You Girl, again, very typical early Beatles. It's okay, but nothing wow. Next we have... check. Yes. I Want to Hold Your Hand, backed with This Boy. I Want to Hold Your Hand's good, catchy pop song. That alone would probably put it a bit higher in the ranking, but This Boy's never been a favourite song of mine. It's okay. As I say, I don't dislike any of these songs, but it's not a song that I've ever been particularly fond of. Then we have Love Me Do, backed with P.S. I Love You. And again, and you're seeing a theme here, these are all the early singles. Love Me Do, possibly their first great song, but they did better later on. Sorry, mark on my spine. I can't work out if it's damage or original. Anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah, Love Me Do, possibly their first great song, but they have done better. P.S. I Love You, again, another song I'm not mad on, so that's why this is so low. Sticking with early singles, and we have Please Please Me, backed with Ask Me Why. Again, Please Please Me, really strong song. Ask Me Why, it's decent enough. It's probably my favourite of the B-sides so far. But, again, they've done so much better later in their career. Or certainly so much more to my taste later in the career. And as you may expect, another early one, She Loves You, backed with I'll Get You. She Loves You, great song. Yeah, it's, you know, obviously very catchy and probably their first truly iconic song. I'll Get You... It's decent enough. It's, you know, that's why we're moving up in the ranking. But again, I just, you know, it's later stuff I prefer more, basically. Then, from one end of their career to the other, next up at number 18 is Free as a Bird, Real Love. So this was a single sort of put together for this collection. Obviously, Free as a Bird was a single in its own right, and Real Love was a single in its own right. Of the two tracks, I prefer Free as a Bird. I like both songs. I have a lot of time for Free as a Bird. However, whilst they did okay with the technology, I find John's vocals sort of take me out of the song a bit, where the quality isn't there on them. I love the video for Free as a Bird, particularly. As I say, yeah, like them both. They're strong, but not quite as good as their proper stuff. Okay, so that's probably the lower end that was easy to sort done. Now we're getting into the big middle chunk. and a lot of these, the B-sides sort of made the decision for me. I would probably say all these A-sides are 10 out of 10 songs. So it's the B-sides that, as I say, influenced it. So next up we have Hard Day's Night, back with Things We Said Today. So yeah, Hard Day's Night, great, classic, 10 out of 10 song. Things We Said Today, it's a good track, but it's a bit simplistic. It's, you know, it lacks a specialness. So that's why that's low. Then next we have Let It Be. And that's back with You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. I have a lot of time for You Know My Name, Look Up the Number, but I'm in no pretense that it is a good song. You know, the Beatles' humour is a very important part of them and what made them special. And it's probably their most humorous track, but it's not a great song. Let It Be, you know, as I say, all these tracks, A-sides from now on, are probably 10 out of 10 songs. But You Know My Name, as I say, I have a lot of time for it, which is why it's a little bit higher, but it's not a great song. Can't Buy Me Love, back to If You Can't Do That. Again, A-side, 10 out of 10, Can't Buy Me Love, great, great, great song. Probably the best of their early songs. I'm just trying to see what else is in there. Yeah. You Can't Do That. Good, catchy B-side. A lot of fun. Good track. But again, stuff I like more. Such as Ticket to Ride, back with Yes It Is. This is probably the first B-side on here that I really love. I think it's, you know, the harmonies and the key changes. I know what I mean. I could sing it to you, but you don't want to hear that. But yeah, have a lot of time for Yes It Is and Ticket to Ride. Another classic. So what are we up to? We are up to number 13 is All You Need Is Love and Baby You're a Rich Man. So yes, I do think All You Need Is Love is a 10 out of 10 song. However, I actually prefer Baby You're a Rich Man on this one. It's just something about it. It's just, whilst, you know, as I say, All You Need Is Love, great song, 10 out of 10. However, maybe it's just over familiarity with it. Maybe it's the simplisticness of it, which is part of its charm, but it also just knocks it down a little bit to me, you know, so maybe it's 9.9 out of 10, if you like. But Baby You're a Rich Man I've always really liked. It's the vibe of it, just the lyrics. It's a fun track, really like it. So that's number 13, wasn't it? Yeah. Number 12, we got Get Back, back with Don't Let Me Down. Get Back, you know, is a great driving rock song. Don't Let Me Down, an angsty, bluesy track, really. Both really good. Both, love them both, but there's other stuff I love more. Such as Help and I'm Down. Help. What can you say about Help? Lennon, you know, writing about his anguish in the catchiest pop song imaginable. I'm Down. Really strong B-side. Definitely one that I like a lot. And again, it pairs nicely with Help as well in feeling. Great single. Number 10. 10, 9, 8, 7 and 6. I sort of kept swapping round. But my final position, number 10, Yellow Submarine, back with Eleanor Rigby. I like Yellow Submarine a lot. But obviously, you know, it is a almost a novelty song, but the musicianship, the sound effects, all that sort of stuff sort of knock it a bit higher than your typical novelty song. Eleanor Rigby, what can you say about Eleanor Rigby? Genius. So yeah, 2 great tracks from a great album. I think it's just sort of the novelty aspect of Yellow Submarine knocks this single down a little bit. As I say, I did initially have it a little bit higher. I had it at 8 originally. Number 9, I Feel Fine, back to She's a Woman. Love I Feel Fine. Probably an early favourite Beatles track of mine when I was first exploring their catalogue. As I've mentioned on other videos, the first things I had, other than what I'd heard of my parents' collection, the first Beatles I owned was Red and Blue on cassette. I Feel Fine was definitely an early favourite from them. She's a Woman, great B-side, great vocals. The rasp in McCartney's voice, I love. Great single. Number 9. Number 8. Just checking I've got... Yeah. Well, I've moved them around. They're not in the same order they're written down on there. But just check. That's like 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2... Yeah. Number 8. Paperback Writer. Back to Rain. Just a great single. Paperback Writer. Great track. Almost too poppy, which is why it's down a little bit. But certainly a flawless song, really. Rain, great B-side. Obviously, you know, famously the backwards drums and all that sort of stuff. Possibly has knocked this down as well a little bit, just because it's, whilst it's a great track, it's not particularly catchy. But, you know, I'm picking hairs here because I'm ranking these. You know, it's 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 track. Number 7. And we have Lady Madonna, Back to the Inner Light. I'm now regretting putting this quite so high. But there we go, I've done it. I think actually maybe I might not be... You know, I wrote this list a couple of weeks ago and I haven't sort of revisited them, and thinking about it, I probably put this down a couple. Lady Madonna's a great track. Quite funky. Piano led. Obviously, you're all familiar with Lady Madonna. The Inner Light. I think because I like George, I think this sort of, you know, I put this up a bit because I have loyalty to George. But thinking about it, it's not a B-side I absolutely love. So really, if I'm being honest, I think I'd probably move this down a couple of places, I would have thought. So at number 6, and I'm happy with everything from here on, definitely, we have We Can Work It Out, Back to Day Tripper. 2 great 10 out of 10 songs. Can't fault either of them. We Can Work It Out. Great heartfelt song from Paul. Day Tripper. Obviously Lennon, right? That guitar intro, I love Hendrix's version of it that he did in his Radio 1 sessions as well. I probably knew that version before I knew the Beatles version. But yeah, 2 great tracks, as all of these are, but particularly these last few. At number 5, we have I Am a Walrus and Hello Goodbye, or Hello Goodbye and I Am a Walrus. It's one way round on the other, on one side and one way around on the other. Trying to think if they do mark them A and B inside. No, they don't appear to. But regardless, Hello Goodbye, great catchy pop song. One, you know, easy to sing along to. Great track. I'm a Walrus, obviously a classic. The weirdness of it, if you like, is, you know, something special. The strange lyrics, the sound effects, all that sort of stuff is what makes it different and what make it great. That's number 4. And it's Hey Jude, Factory Revolution. I would probably say Hey Jude is probably my favourite Beatles single A-side. I love Hey Jude. Yes, it's overplayed. Yes, Paul will play it at the drop of a hat at any charity gig or anything like that. But it's just such a great track. You know, that ending, the however many minutes, 3 minutes or whatever it is at the end, just brings everybody together. I love Hey Jude. I have done since the day I heard it for the first time. I have done ever since. The reason this is only number 4 is that I'm not a big lover of this version of Revolution. Of the 3 versions, if you count Revolution 9 as a version of it, it's probably my middle. I love the album version most. The slower, sort of almost boogie type version. I do like this faster version, but it's a bit too... every word or phrase that's coming into my mind isn't quite right, which is annoying. It's just a bit too normal. You know, it's a rocky version of the song that just lacks a certain... I can't really describe it, but I love it, but I prefer the album version. And it's the B-side stroke double A's on the last 3 albums, last 3 singles rather, I love as much, if not more, than the A-side. So much as I love Hey Jude, that's why this is only number 4. Hope that makes sense. So number 3, and we have a Ballad of John and Yoko, Back with Old Brown Shoe. Love both these tracks. Old Brown Shoe was an early standout from the Blue album. I didn't know it was a B-side. You know, there's no indication on those albums where the tracks came from. I just really like Old Brown Shoe. Always have done, always will. Ballad of John and Yoko, I love the story of it. Obviously, you know, it's a true story. It's telling the story of John and Yoko getting married, etc. And I, you know, love the way they tell that story. Obviously, it's just John and Paul on drums, John doing everything else, I think. But I've always really liked Ballad of John and Yoko as well. So that's number 3. Number 2 is what many people consider the greatest single ever made. And it is Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane. Double A-side. I wouldn't argue with that. However, some of you may have worked out what my number 1 is. I just prefer those pairings of songs. Not that I have anything against either of these songs. I love them. Strawberry Fields Forever, a psychedelic pop masterpiece. Penny Lane has a hint of psychedelia even still, but a more straightforward, almost hints of, you know, music hall with the brass, but great track as well. Love the theme of the pair of them reminiscing about childhood. Yeah, or, you know, the places they grow up at least. Can't fault it. I just slightly prefer the 2 tracks that make up my number 1, and they are Something and Come Together. Something is a beautiful song, probably George's masterpiece, performed so brilliantly on Abbey Road, and therefore this single. I just adore Something. You know, there's a reason why it's one of the most covered songs of all time. And Come Together, I know some people don't like Come Together. I can't understand why anybody would not like Come Together. Yes, it's largely stolen, but it's funky, it shuffles along, great lyrics, brilliant performances all round. I even like Michael Jackson's version of it. You know, it's just such a great track that I can listen to any version of it and love it, but particularly the original is amazing. Yeah, 2 tracks I absolutely adore, and my number 1 Beatles single. There you go. Hope you enjoyed that. As I say, this is purely my opinion based on how much I love those songs. All of them I love. I'd say they're all an 8 out of 10 or above, and most of them are 10 out of 10 songs. I will hopefully soon be ranking the Beatles albums. I just need to re-listen to the early albums to get those in an order. The later albums I know like the back of my hand and have a fixed ranking of those. But it's the first 4 or 5 albums I just need to re-listen to, and it's getting round to doing that, basically. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.